And we are not live.
Yes. Welcome back.
Yeah.
We're happy to be back.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yes,
finally.
it's been a long
Yay,
time.
Vera. Yay. She's here with us. So, we got some great questions that came in.
A viewer had amazing questions.
Yeah, really, really good.
Yeah.
So we wanted
a couple of them actually.
Yeah, we wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
Easy for me to say. Vera, was there anything that you want to start off with saying?
Well, first about Johnny Depp, the new things with Johnny Depp and the motions that Amber's supposed to be posting to the courts, wanting to make everything start over again. You know, it's like, I just want my life back. Well, no, you don't.
Exactly.
You just want to ruin Johnny Depp. That's her MO.
Right. And just like what you were talking about before, about her being a soul stalker, that is exactly what they do.
And they don't stop until they get what they want.
Right. So.
But good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you don't always get what you want.
Because with her newest motion, you were pointing.
There are several of them, yeah.
Yes, you were pointing out that she wants to take, or her team, wants to take off the board this whole trial.
And start over.
Yeah, saying that the United Kingdom trial and this trial should just like delete each other, like cancel each other out, and that they should start again, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. And she wants to waive the fee that she has to pay to file an appeal. And there's no way around it. It's just the way Virginia has their law.
Right.
So the judge said, put up the $10 million plus interest, and I think even the $350,000. So, and they might take off the $2 million that she got. So maybe it's $8 million, but I'm not sure. But I don't know. Listening to this judge, I don't think she's going to do it because they wanted a hearing on all of the motions, and she told them no. So come on,
right?
Amber, go crawl away. No, I don't want to be mean.
Well, it's interesting though, because like you just said, she's saying that she wants to move on with her life,
and that he keeps after her.
No, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
It's so obvious. It's so interesting how sometimes certain individuals do that.
But this gaslighting phenomenon that's happening lately, especially that started with some certain politician,
right?
You know, where if I keep saying it enough, even though it's a lie, and you know it's a lie, you'll start just agreeing with me.
Exactly. Like you were talking to me about just the other day about him saying that, or they're saying that people that are witnesses to what happened on January 6th at the White House, what happened there, that those people should not be, like, it should be against the law to testify, like illegal. Isn't that how you said it? Isn't that what he was trying to put out there, or trying to get to happen?
You mean Trump?
Yeah. Right.
I didn't know if you meant Johnny Depp or...
Oh, no,
Yeah.
not Johnny Depp. I meant Trump.
Yeah.
You know, it's just interesting. It's like...
You just believe what I say.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though it's staring you in the face, the facts. And that's like how Amber is. They don't see it. It's just their way.
So,
yeah.
But I was encouraged because you were getting that you didn't feel that this judge was going to give her that.
No.
And I'm so glad.
Yeah. Well, they could take it to the Supreme Court of that state, but I think they'll throw it out. For sure.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, and it's just making her team look even more dumb.
Doesn't it though?
Yeah, because some of it is like, after listening to like Emily and Runkle, you know, it's kind of like, oh my God, this is, and they're lawyers. So,
So that's encouraging.
Yes.
And I'm just so happy. I mean, all of us are seeing Johnny Depp.
Get on with his life.
Exactly. That's got to be just so rewarding. And
and that's what drives her nuts.
I can only imagine. You know, it's interesting too, because one of the things he said in an interview, I believe recently, was how it was about I believe Warner Brothers Disney, and he was saying about how they feel that they're important and so forth, but really it's the people. It's the people that pay them, and that's who really is their boss in a way.
And it makes a difference.
And he was saying it's all those people that were just talking to me outside. So in other words, you know.
Well, look at the Fantastic Beast #3. It already is on streaming, and it wasn't out long in the theaters because it's not making the money they thought it was going to make.
Exactly.
Yeah, and people are saying, no, we're not. We were one of them. We're not buying it.
Exactly.
I won't even watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's just the principle. I know it's kind of, I guess you'd say silly or something, because what's one movie? But there's meaning behind it. It's like, no, we're not going to let you keep doing this.
And I love that. I love that, Vera, because it's not silly.
Yeah,
it's not
it's
silly.
truth on this one. It's not based on, just popularity or whatever. It's like we saw the truth.
Exactly.
And how the media just went against Johnny Depp without any evidence. And then that Ezra guy who did 10 times, well, I don't know about 10 times worse, but a lot worse. Kidnapping children,
right?
Basically.
Yeah.
And he was still allowed to be in the movie.
Exactly. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
But it was really interesting because I know we kind of mentioned it, like touched on it, but I was listening again to the last trance that we had with Angus when he came through and gives us messages through Vera, through you. And one of the things he said is that it was so important what is happening with this trial, with all of us watching, because he was saying it's very encouraging to them on the other side that so much of us care, because he said to get things back to where it's normal again, it's going to take all of us here and all of them there on the other side. So to me, I mean, I kind of like interpreted that as what happened with Trump and how much that, brought out.
He did what dictators do. They don't want you to believe the truth. They, whose truth? What truth? And then to where now it's like, I even do it. I go, well, I don't know if that's real.
Right.
You want to check it out further before you, which, I mean, some parts of it are like, people have to prove that it's true. That part I get. But once you prove that it's true, then it's kind of like, oh, our gardener's here. It's kind of like, I forgot what I was saying now.
Yeah, because it's right when we're going to be talking with everyone. The gardener's right outside our window. So hopefully.
Yeah. Life.
Yeah, exactly.
Life happens. What are you going to do? Yeah.
But anyway, okay. So, Vera, was there anything else that we wanted to mention? We're hoping that next week we will have a live chat on our website.
I was wanting our government to be accountable, though.
That's what you wanted to say. Yeah. Okay. All right. So,
Chrissy, Alayna, you have great questions.
Yes.
And so do you, Lizzy.
Maat? Yes. Okay. So, some of our fabulous YouTube friends, Soul Tribers, have sent in some awesome questions. Should we start off with Lizzy's?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so Lizzy's question is, can you carry a deep karmic imprint from multiple lifetimes? Good question.
Yes, that's what we've been talking about. That's like the Amber Herds, the people that stalk people. That's keeping a deep karmic imprint on the person that they're after all the time.
Isn't that the
Until
truth?
they learn how to deal with it like Johnny Depp did. Yeah. But yes, there is. But to us, karma is experience.
Exactly.
It's not like you're a bad person or you're a good person. It's an experience that may have been good or bad.
Yes, just because we might be going through a horrible illness or disease or a car accident or something does not mean that we're being punished from a past
Like breast
life.
cancer.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an experience that we charted for different reasons.
Yeah, and that's a whole new class. We should have a class on charts.
Yes.
Because that's a lot of times people don't really understand what we mean maybe sometimes.
Right.
Our philosophy.
Yeah. And with the cell memory that we carry, that's another example of karmic imprint that we're talking about a lot.
But once you experience it and work through it, then you don't have to have it again. Then you're on to something else that you want to experience and learn from.
Exactly. And I love that part about reincarnation.
Because look at Bill Clinton too with the Star. What's his name?
Ken Starr.
Ken Starr. The same thing.
Yes.
But I don't know so much if Clinton actually learned anything, but he'll have to do it in another lifetime or figure it out on the other side. He may be happy, okay with it once he gets home.
Right.
That, I did the best I could, and I don't want Ken around anymore or something. I don't know. Or just not do a life here.
And that's a really good point, Vera, because, when we get to the other side, we actually are our own worst critic.
Right.
It's a lot of times we're programmed by religion or different belief systems that we're going to get to the gates of heaven and cast out because, judged by God is what I'm trying to say about every little thing that we did in life. But really, we are the ones that chart these experiences to learn from. And so that's why we might chart to experience something in our next life that's similar if we didn't feel that we learned from it enough.
Or we wanted to do a little better than we did before.
Exactly.
And really get it. Yeah.
Yes. It's exciting when we talk about it. But
so we judge ourselves on the other side.
Exactly.
Mother and father is like, oh, you did a good job.
Yeah.
See what you could have done better.
Yeah, you did it. You survived
It's not punishment, like you said.
So much to learn from through all of our experiences. Like any relationship, any experience that we have, there's a lot to learn from there. So much. Okay. So we are going to get into Chrissy Alayna's questions. All right. Do we want to touch on this or just go right into here?
John Wayne Gacy, she wanted to know if it was possible that he was H.H. Holmes. And H.H. Holmes, if you want to look up, was a pretty bad dude. He used to lock people up in his hotels, and it was torture chambers.
Oh.
Yeah, and he would get people to come in, and especially people that didn't have family, he thought, until some did, and then that's how he got caught.
Oh.
But it was horrible what he did to people. So the part about, burying people and all that, that's kind of like what Wayne Gacy did. But this is a totally different dark entity.
Lost light.
Sorry, I keep saying that.
Yeah. We know what you mean. It's not the skin. No. It has to do with the soul. Right. Oh, man. Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's just,
and JFK was not Lincoln, but he was around Lincoln and looked up to Lincoln and I don't know if he was like a law student that worked with him kind of stayed with him even in the presidency somehow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's neat. Yeah. All right. So here we go. Questions. Do future lives always mirror past lives?
Well, we kind of talked about that. Sometimes it does because we're not done with a lesson.
Right.
And that's why it might mirror it.
Yes, because we can chart. Well, not chart, but we might feel that we didn't do all that we wanted to do, like we just talked about, and you just said that.
We need to do a class.
I think that would be marvelous. Are we all destined to live essentially the same life repeatedly?
No, that would be boring.
It would, wouldn't it?
Oh my gosh, no. Once we learn it, that's it.
Yes. A good point is like, if we go back to school and we're going to take the same class over and over. I mean, there's other classes that we want to learn too.
And you get better and better at the studies, but it was like, come on, I want to learn more about this other thing over here instead of what's in the book.
Yeah. It makes me think about like some of the past lives you've done where somebody was really, really tall. But it would be, if we have a life where like, God, I wonder what it would be like to be short. And then to come back in, I'm tall again,
Yeah.
So it's good to have different experiences.
Just like, what's that, Bill Murray, where he did the same thing over and over?
Oh, Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
I'm back.
God. Yeah.
Same song on the radio. We were out rolling.
But it's really kind of like life. It's like, well, let me see how I can kill myself on this one so I don't have to come back. And then he would come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is good. Will politicians always
Thankfully,
be politicians?
no.
Yeah, exactly.
But they tend to do justice themed, because that's what they're really into.
Right. We can do that from because we have these interests that are in our soul, and we carry those gifts.
Like the arts for you.
Exactly. There's like a calling, and there's gifts that we have that we've learned from our past lives, and it might come out in another lifetime in a different way. Like, let's say you might have been a healer. Vera might have healed people in this life, and in this life she's doing it, but through information.
Exactly.
Yes. Will athletes always be athletes?
No.
Same thing.
Will rich always be rich? No, but
Oh my
I bet you they tend to want to be.
Yes, I mean, and that is so the truth, because everything's relative, right? Just because we have money does not mean that we have this easy, happy-go-lucky life. But we still have all the depth of experience, whether we live on the street or whether we live in a penthouse.
Yeah. There's always lessons to be learned no matter what. I mean, look at Johnny Depp. I hate to keep bringing that up, but that's the talk of the day.
Right.
Has all this money, and look what he's going through. Just because he did this one little thing where he saw some new shiny candy.
AKA
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah. Even though he was in a relationship.
Right.
Kind of thing. So it's how does the saying go? You made your bed, so now you lie in it.
Yeah, and that's it. That's why we chart these tests. We chart these things, and then we have these. For in that case, a soul stalker that comes on in and is like, I don't want to say bait, but they
bait.
They know what tempts us away, and
beguiling.
Yeah, it's just lessons that we charted to learn from. What are we going to do this time?
And then listen to people too, because a lot of times, like I've said this before, guys think that women are jealous whenever they tell them, oh, don't go out with her. Oh, you're just jealous, until they have to live through it and they're like, oh my God.
Exactly.
Yeah. And vice versa. It's not just, women doing that to men, but men doing that to women.
Absolutely.
It's no gender. It's just human beings experiencing.
Absolutely. That's for sure. Okay. Where does mental illness come from?
That's also charted. It's just like the illnesses, just like breast cancer, any illness, anything. It's just that we want to experience how we will work through it.
Isn't that the truth? And then others around us
Especially others around us.
Yeah.
That's what they're learning too.
Exactly. We might be around somebody that has a mental illness in one life, and then the next life, maybe we experience that, or maybe we use what we learned in this life to help others.
Or we weren't as tolerant with the mental illness of a person, and then we thought, when we go on the other side, we'll go, well, let's see what it feels like not to be tolerated.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Good point.
I got to stop saying kind of thing.
We get you.
All right.
Next, are birthmarks always past life injuries?
No.
And that is so interesting.
No. It's just what we want to remember about that past life to empower us in the current life.
Absolutely. I mean, there might be a mark, and one of the ones that comes to mind right now is a birthmark that somebody had from a life where, I don't remember if they were hung or if somebody else was hung, but the point of it was the love. It wasn't the injury, it was the love.
Right.
It kind of reminds me of like these amazing messengers that come into life, and they might have had a torturous death, but the point of their life was not their death, it was how they lived.
Yeah, and that's like the point with relationships too. I hate to bring that up again, but when you have a relationship and it's like, why am I alone again? Why are people doing this to me? Well, because you charted it so that you can work through it and get out a stronger soul for it. And it's, if we realize we're the one responsible for what we're experiencing, and not as punishment, it's like experience to see what our soul's metal, mettle. So it's not always about why are people doing this to me. And that's the first thing people ask. I did it when I was going through it. I was like, oh, why me? Why am I having to go through this? Well, guess what? You're not the only one. When Sylvia said that to me, I thought I was crushed. I was like, oh my God, I'm not. It's about me right now.
Me. Yeah. Vera, I love that point.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times what we're focusing on is, look at what this person did to me.
And not living, not moving forward.
And the other, and what you just said, it's like, instead of focusing on what they did to us, it's like when we charted it, and then it's about our strength, not necessarily what they did.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it's just...
And a lot of times people don't want to be responsible. They want to be able to blame it on other people or other things or, a situation. Which, I mean, great, but you're not going to work through your chart. But yeah, it's like what we've been talking about. It's just we want to do better.
Exactly.
And when we're on the other side, it's like, I can do that. Whenever I was writing a little blog I was going to do and I never did it, it's like I could picture my guide laughing where I'm going, oh, breast cancer? Twice. I can do it. Why are you laughing? Yeah. But that's, you just over there, you're all like, oh yes, I can do it better this time. That kind of thing.
And that's the amazingly great point that you're making, though. It's about our strength. And once we're focusing on our strength from the situation instead of what they did to us, that's when it's like so empowering. It's helped so much, because I'll never forget how I felt when I was, because a lot of the relationships I had that were so hard for me were in the beginning part of my life.
Right.
Not as much after, when we've been doing what we're doing now.
Right.
But in the one that I had in recent years, when you told me about that, it was this past life lesson that it was coming from, it just it was so empowering to me.
Yeah.
Because it just made me feel like, it's all about what I charted and getting and tapping into my strength and that angle instead of, oh my God, look what he did, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It was just great,
And past lives aren't just about, oh God, I got to be a pirate or I got to be a Viking or whatever. It's really deeper than that.
Totally.
It really makes you understand life. It really, really does if you allow it to. And I wish the medical profession would understand that. But they're still stuck on past life. That's, prove it to me.
Right.
Like that nurse I had.
Oh man, that nurse. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
My little talker.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
But there's so much strength to find in the past life knowledge that you helped me to understand about myself, that I use on a daily basis as tools to not let negativity of life affect me.
Yeah. And then plus when that nurse was saying, well, I used to do the Renaissance fair, and for some reason I was really good with the knife, and I knew how to work it, I knew how to hold it, and no one ever taught me. And I'm going, really? Do you think maybe you had a past life, that you were a sword maker and a knife maker, or that you were in military, or that? And he's like going, yeah, I've always felt that. Well, that's past life. So what do you want me to prove? I told him, what would you like me to prove? It's within you that you feel it, the emotion of it. And he goes, well, yeah. He goes, but he was trying to think of a way to say, well, no, but he talked himself into it, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. See?
But he still wouldn't believe the psychic stuff. He goes, okay, I'll go with past life, but not people that are psychic. And I said, okay.
Yeah. Really, whatever works.
Yeah. You don't have to believe everything everybody else believes in.
Exactly.
Except us. No.
Yeah. Okay, what's next? All right, next is, does sexual identity, orientation, and preference stem from past lives?
I think all of these are yes.
Yeah.
It's what you chart. It's mostly about chart.
Yes.
But yes. Yeah. And sometimes, like, you come into life and you decide, well, I'm going to be a male because I'm female on the other side and I want to know what it feels, the energy and all that. And then when you come into life, it's like, nope, I still feel like a female.
Exactly. Right.
Because that's who you truly are.
On the other side.
On the other side. But we have different experiences, male, female. Now it's they or we or whatever, So, yeah, it's what we're charted to experience.
Exactly. Next is, why are some people's minds fragmented but others aren't? These are a lot of really good life chart questions because, again, it's what we chart.
Yeah.
How negativity of life affects us.
Right.
How scattered we get. It's just how we deal with life.
Because
Again.
we have an outline. I know, we write this intricate chart, but it also has lateral movement. It also has, well, I could experience this way, or I could let myself have a break and just not do it as challenging as I wrote it.
Right.
Thing. Kinda.
I hear you.
I didn't say kind of things. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just whatever we charted to experience.
And it's so individual. So
that's why it was so unique, and what's so exciting about past lives, because they're never the same. I don't know how people could be bored with past lives.
yeah, it's all over the spectrum.
Yeah.
Because you could have several many. You could have many people that have a pirate past life, but the lessons in it can be so different.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. More questions. How do we discover our purpose or mission in life? That would be a good class,
Ooh,
too.
that's a good one.
A lot of times it can present itself to you. It could be
Like what you're good at.
Mm-hmm.
Athletes that are good at athletics. Artists who are amazing at art. Singers. It's, you kind of get the idea of what you charted to do.
The amazing past life love and passion and look at how, did you ever think you'd be doing this when you started off doing hypnosis sessions for people?
Never.
It's amazing.
No.
But as you went along your path, you discovered your passion and your awesome talent for helping people discover their past lives.
Exactly.
And then your intuitive psychic side just kept growing more and more.
Yeah. And a silly example is, well, you took this CPR class. You don't really know why you took it. You just did it because other people were doing it. And then 2 weeks later, somebody next to you falls down and can't breathe.
Right.
So that's why you had to take it, that class, or took it. Because there's always a reason for what happens. And it may not manifest until years later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, so many
This one's
examples.
good.
Yeah.
Keep them coming. This
Many examples. Yes. Okay. Whoopsie. All right. Now, next, is there a limit to how many past lives someone can live?
Nope. It's all up to you.
Absolutely. We've heard, Angus was telling us about someone that we love, very dear and near, who's had 117 past lives.
Ooh. Oh, your mom?
Yeah. We have had some people that are very elevated, beautiful souls that only have a couple.
Yeah.
It's
Diana.
Just, and they are so evolved and spiritual. It's just all over the spectrum. We can learn so much on the other side. We can learn so much from coming into life. So, it's all very different how many lives we chart. But there's not really a limit. It's just how much you want to experience and different planets you want to experience.
Because not
on.
everybody on this other side comes into life.
Exactly.
They feel that they can just watch us and then help people. But mainly our mission in life is to help other people. I don't know how many times that's really basically all it is, but then you add the layers of what you wanted to experience on top of that, because we're social people. That's what it's in us to help.
Yes.
Most of us.
It just feels so good to have something
community.
Yeah, in life that makes it just makes you feel like life is fulfilling.
Yeah.
It's so boring to just sit there and eat all the cookies by oneself when you could share the cookies.
There you go.
I don't know why cookies came to mind. I'm thinking about
Sounds
chocolate
good.
chip cookies.
Yeah.
But you know
Or
what
brownies.
I mean. Yeah, it's just, it feels so good to lift somebody else up and talk about how amazing they are.
Yeah.
And it brings up their self-esteem, and it's just, back and forth, give and take.
Yeah.
Makes life worth living. Okay, this is a great question. What happens to bad people when they die?
They burn in hell.
Because
No.
it's interesting because they're
That's
saying, next question is, what is cosmic justice?
Yeah.
Very great questions, Chrissy, because even if there does not seem to be a consequence that this person meets in life.
Because that happens sometimes.
Right. They don't get caught.
You want immediate, like, oh, I hope they get caught.
Right.
And they don't, but they eventually get caught at something. Or in a different life, they're going to have to experience it.
Look at Amber Heard. She had a lifetime with Johnny where she was able to say what she wanted to say about him into the ear of the woman that he was engaged to and her father who ruled the kingdom, and totally, I'm just going to say it, screwed him over. And he was put out. He was left on his own to just roam in squalor and had nothing. She destroyed his life.
Yeah.
She got away with it.
He had music, though. I forgot to say that part.
Oh, that's good. See, he still had something, a way to express himself. That's amazing you say that, because look at what he's doing now.
Yeah.
Like, he loves it. But she was able to get away with it. And now in this life, look what happened. She's not able to get away with it.
So there is cosmic justice.
Yes, and that's
But where do they go? It depends on what you mean. Do you mean a lost light or just some screwed up white light? So, do we call it white light or light light?
Well,
lost light,
found light.
light.
There's the light souls.
The
There's
light
the
soul.
lost light, and then there's those that are in between, which is kind of like what you just
Agreed,
explained,
yeah.
right? I know, another class, right?
Yeah.
But these were fabulous questions.
Yes.
And
Very
yes, please
profound.
do leave more of your spiritual questions. We'd love to answer those. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's the cosmic justice. It does come around. It does come around
It does.
because entities like that.
But sometimes we want to see it in our lifetime.
I know.
you know. But they'll get theirs.
Yeah, it's a boomerang. Sometimes
Yes.
it takes a little bit, but it does
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
So, Vera, was there anything else that you wanted to share today?
No.
We just want to thank you.
Yes.
Thank you all for your fabulous questions, and we love you all.